นะครับ if you don't have any problem now let's move on to the visualization part. When we have the data in our Power BI already, the next step that will make your Power BI to be useful is to visualize those data นะครับ these are visual tools นะครับ or visualization tools in here นะครับ I'll just like show you the basic visualization tools that Power BI provided for you first. And for the add-ons or for the extra visualization tools นะครับ I'll show you next on. What do I mean by the basic visualization and what is the extra? Basic visualization tools are the tools that you have seen in here นะครับ that you have seen on Power BI visualization here. But actually, we can also add the extra visualization tools that Power BI doesn't have. Where are they? They are on the internet. You can just click on the three dots here and you see get more visuals นะครับ Once you click on get more visuals, Power BI will just show you for the visuals that you may just like getting from like other sources นะครับ some are free some are paid นะครับ so you can choose for what Power BI what your data should use นะครับ for that visualization นะครับ okay. Right. For like the suitability นะครับ of the extra or add-on visuals that you should use นะครับ we'll discuss later on นะครับ today we just use the basic one first so that you know how do we gonna just like make use of the data นะครับ and visualize them. Okay, so นะครับ how do you gonna visualize the data นะครับ from your Power BI? Firstly, you have to think first what kind of charts or what kind of infographics that is suitable for your data. In this case นะครับ in this case if you have a look on your data in here we can say that okay this set of data should be the data of a company that sell the products นะครับ to the customer and you can see that in here for the what to say for the sales order that we sell to the customer here นะครับ it shows product ID. I mean, in order detail, it shows order ID, product ID, unit price, and quantity and discount. In here, นะครับ if I want to show the quantity of the product that we sell to the customer, นะครับ quantity of the products that we sell to the customer. What kind of chart that is suitable here, ครับ What do you think? Actually, I don't mind นะครับ if you just like if let's say 10 of you use different kind of 10 charts as long as they make sense. Okay, for example, if one of you say that hey can we use pie chart, I don't mind. I told you if as long as it makes sense นะครับ for the pie chart, but you have to know that if you use pie chart what is the characteristic of the data that you should use on the pie chart and what pardon me percentage yeah what is the what to say pie chart used for? Can you tell me? Pie chart it shows the quantity or percentage or whatever thing นะครับ of the data but you can see that okay when we have a pie chart let's think of a pie. How many slices of the pie that you can do? If you buy a piece of pie, a big pie, let's say what to say 12-inch pie, okay, how many slices you can do at most? More than one, but what is the maximum? maybe 10, maybe 12, maybe 20 at most. What about 100 pieces of pies? I mean, 100 slices of pie for the 12-inch pie. Can you do that? When you buy a piece of pie, it's impossible because the pie will just like break apart, as just like a crumble. Same as a pie chart that we use. If we would like to represent the products that we sold to the customer or the orders that we sold to the customer, and we have 1,000 orders, can we use pie chart to represent those 1,000 pieces of data? This one, you can see that it's not suitable because the pie size, I mean, not the pie size, the slice size of the pie will be very, very small and you cannot even read it. So in this case, if you use pie chart, it might not be good. But you may try. And if you see that it doesn't work, you just change it. Okay, let's use pie chart. I'm curious. And I don't believe what Paramin said. I want to try it. So in order to do the visualization of the data, we go to visualization or the visual that you like to use first. In this case, we use pie chart. You click pie chart. On the left-hand side, on the report screen, you will see a gray pie. This one means that the pie chart is ready. The next thing that you have to do is that you have to choose, you have to choose what data, that you would like to have in the pie. In this one, you can see that if you have a look, I want to show the orders detail quantity here. So in the report view, we go to the orders detail. After you just like click on the chart that you would like to have on your report already, you choose where the field or the column of the data you would like to have. In this one, I want to have quantity. You can see that in here you have to click on the chart first, that shows all of the gray border here. So this one means that your chart is selecting. After that, you go to the field that you would like to have. In here, I want quantity. Your pie is showing in blue color. What is it? Right now, you can see that because in front of the quantity field, you have sigma or summation symbol. This one is a sum of the quantity that you have. In here, it is 51,317 pieces for overall stock that you sold to your customer. But this is not what we want. I want to see the quantity of each product that we sold. That means you need to have some values or some field that help us to distinguish this quantity as well. I know that the total or 100% is 51,000 pieces. Now, the next thing that I have to do is that I know that in order to separate them, I may have to separate by product ID. This is what we have. You can see that right now the chart is showing, the pie chart is showing you for the quantity of each product ID that you sold. Have a look, how to see this pie chart, in the full screen mode. You can see that we have a symbol here, in your pie chart. This is to maximize the screen view. You just click on full screen or focus mode. Okay, I just hide those other things first. So if you have a look in here, in here, Okay, you can see that in this visualize in this visual, sorry, or in this pie chart, you can see that it just show us for every single product that we have. It's the same as the slice of pie that I told you. Is it too much? Right? Each slice is too small. This company doesn't have like many products. It means that we have just at most like 100 products only. That's why it's just like 100 slices. But what about like another company that has like thousands of products? You have thousands of slices in here. That is not suitable at all. So that's why in this case, if we use the pie chart, it might not be good in this case. Then we may have to change to another data another visual another chart instead. Let's talk about like the next thing. In this one, it shows us as like the unit of K, that is 1,000 pieces. So you can see that it might be a bit difficult to see because in here, you may want to know like the exact number of items that you sold in each product. In order to show as 1K like this, comparing with like another situation, you may say that, okay, I want to know that it is 1,250 pieces, not just 1K, something like that. We may change it in this one, but I'll just talk about it later on. And you can see that because there are so many products. That's why the product ID must be shown as the legend on the right hand side instead. In this one is the example of not good kind of chart to be displayed in Power BI. You should just like think about the proper one. Okay. Sometimes if you say that, okay, you want to show the data if you say that, okay, I still insist to use this pie chart, but I want to show it as a product name, not the product ID. What should I do? Because product ID doesn't make sense when we read or when we see on the screen. We don't know what product it is. So the things that we may do is that I just unchoose the product ID first. I have to think, where is the product name located? Product name is located in the product table. You choose product name here instead. You can see that right now your chart is showing the product name on the right hand side instead of product ID. You got it? This one, we can have the product name because in the model, it links between order detail to the order. And also the order detail is also linked with the product. If you have a look on the relationship here, they link together with the product ID. So that means for that order that has the product ID, you can find the product name if you just like go to click and choose in the visualization, like this one. Okay. And in this one, if we know that it is not suitable, if it's not suitable, you have to change the visualize the visual. In this one, if you think that, okay, you want to change to the bar chart instead, let's say, you just see the bar chart. Okay, if I say that, I'll try to have the stack column chart here. You can choose it straight away. It will update your visual to be another chart immediately in here. So this one, it depends on you what kind of chart that you would like to use. It depends on the suitability of that situation. All right. Okay. so this is the chart นะครับ the visualization that you may use in order to match with what you need นะครับ okay so right now นะครับ right now if I would like to find out นะครับ or if I want to count the number of orders นะครับ that is sold in each country นะครับ I want to see the orders that's sold to each country in that case นะครับ okay I said that okay I want to separate them into another worksheet นะครับ the way that I have to do is that I have to create another page of the report นะครับ and show the new visual somebody said that can we show them in the same page yes you can ครับ it's up to you นะครับ there is no limitation okay but this one the first one I want to talk about the products only while the other visualization I want to show number of orders in different countries so I have to look first where can I identify the country if you go to the data sheet in here you can see that country is located in your customer is located in your customer table นะครับ apart from that one the country is also located in the ship address full in orders table too then you have to know first what I mean country in here what does it mean country of where customer located or country of where the orders is shipped to in this one I said that I want to see the chart to show or to count the order นะครับ for the shipping location so I have to use the country in ship address full นะครับ in the orders table not from the customer table because customer table in here okay it might be for another purpose but this one okay let's say your boss said that okay he or she wants to see the number of orders where we ship to นะครับ right now is a problem we see the country it's in the ship address full right but the problem is that the country is combined with like other addresses if you have a look on my screen here the first order is shipped to Brazil as we are human beings we can read that is Brazil but Power BI itself doesn't know that okay the Rio de Paco here is located in Brazil because they are mixed in the same column the things that you have to do is that you have to split them first how to split somebody said oh I use Excel then I'll do it but okay if it's in Excel you may be able to do that but the problem is that if the data that you load into Power BI is from the database then you cannot split it you have to use Power BI to help in this case we have to do the data splitting นะครับ how do we gonna do it if you have to manipulate the data we have to go to Power Query Editor again นะครับ we don't do it straight away in Power BI desktop screen นะครับ we have to do it in Power Query Editor so let's go to Power Query Editor นะครับ we go to home I'm sorry we go to the visualize view and then go to home go to transform data okay now we are going to split the address in the orders นะครับ in the orders yeah it's in the orders here how to split when you have to split any data from the existing column you have to think first how can we split it where is the data where is the target data located you can see that our target data is located at the last part of the column, right? When you have this thing, then you can split. But if you say that, okay, the data is scattered, some is here, some is there, then you can't do it นะครับ so how do we gonna just like split the data here, split the country? When you know that it's located on the last part of your destination column already, the next thing that you have to do or you have to know is that you have to notice what is the common thing among different record. You can see that every time before the country is typed, you will always see comma. Do you see that in every single record it has a comma before the country, right? So when the comma is a common thing, we will use Power BI query editor to split the column when they have comma, when the comma is appeared นะครับ we call this one นะครับ the symbol that appears before we have that data นะครับ as delimiter. Delimiter is a symbol that appears to use for splitting the data. In this one นะครับ in this example we see comma, so that means we use comma as the delimiter of the column นะครับ and we will use comma นะครับ as the delimiter to split this column out. In some situation we have space นะครับ we have space as the delimiter. Sometimes we have semicolon, sometimes we have tab นะครับ tab นะครับ as the delimiter. Sometimes we use a blank or a space as the delimiter. But in this example, we see the outstanding delimiter to separate between country and other text นะครับ which is comma นะครับ in this one we use comma. So in order to split the data นะครับ we do like this. Firstly, we go to the table that we would like to split first. After that, just scroll to the column that you would like to split นะครับ that you would like to split. Okay. In here is the chip address pool, right? Okay, so after that, you see that in the transform group นะครับ of the home tab of the Power Query Editor นะครับ you see split column นะครับ you see split column here. So the things that we have to do is that after you choose the destination, the target column to be splitted already, the next thing that we do is that we just click on split column. And then you can see that we see by delimiter, by number of characters, by positions, by lowercase to uppercase. In here, you see by delimiter นะครับ we will use comma as the delimiter to split นะครับ okay, so you choose delimiter. Sometimes there is no common delimiter. You may use like you may count number of characters for splitting as well. For example, if we are talking about student ID นะครับ I mean student information, if you say that okay, the data that appears on your data file, if it looks like this นะครับ let me just show you a bit. If it just show us that okay, you can see that in here it doesn't have delimiter นะครับ for this data. So instead of using delimiter, you count instead. You say that you want to split ID of the name. Then you count 7 digits and then you split นะครับ this one is by counting the numbers นะครับ okay, right, okay, now once you split นะครับ in this case we use comma นะครับ it try to analyze นะครับ Power BI will try to analyze the data for you นะครับ it suggests you that okay in this set of column in this data you should use comma. It will ask you that where would you like to split. In here we want to use rightmost delimiter. What does it mean? It is rightmost delimiter in here means that the comma that is located on the rightmost position นะครับ because it knows that normally the data that might be on at the beginning นะครับ or at the end of the column might be your useful data. For example, if we are talking about like the student ID and name before, the student ID is on the left hand side. That is, you might have to use leftmost delimiter if you have. But in this case, country is located on the rightmost ones. That means you have to use the rightmost delimiter to split it. So you choose rightmost delimiter นะครับ for comma. After that, you click OK. So right now you can see that in here นะครับ the comma is like splitting the country out for you already นะครับ and there is no comma นะครับ because once you use that delimiter already that delimiter will be removed from the extra the newly splitted column. So that means you lost one comma already, but you get like the new column that is called as chip address full นะครับ in here. So when you get this one already นะครับ when you get this one already, you can see that in here นะครับ we get the new column that is our chip address full 2. Rename the column a bit please. It should be chip country. So you right click on the chip address full 2 column, choose rename, and then name it as chip country and press enter. Now it's changed to be chip country already. Right? Everyone, you got the new column yet? Okay. So when you get the new column already นะครับ we still have some problem ครับ For example, my first record here, for us, you can see that the ship country, we may call it as France, but Power BI recognize it is space France, not France นะครับ it's space France. So that means if you do some query or you just like show the visualize in the report view, it shows space France, that is not the country. What is the problem? You said that, okay, space France is space France. What's wrong with it? I can read it anyway. Some kind of chart, especially for the chart with the maps. Space France is not a country นะครับ the country is France. So that's why if there is unwanted characters like a space, you have to eliminate it first. Otherwise, if you just like use it for, the map chart, it doesn't show the correct one นะครับ I want you to keep chip country นะครับ as the space with the country name like this too, because we'll use it for other purposes. Now, before I manage this column, what do I want you to do? I want you to copy this column นะครับ to another column. In this one นะครับ in order to copy this column into another column in here, if it's Excel, it's easy, you just copy and then paste. But this one นะครับ in Power BI, we call it as duplicating the column นะครับ okay, let me just check first. No. Okay. Okay, let me just check a bit because they changed the position of the menu. Okay, yeah. Okay. So everyone, I want you to duplicate this column. In order to duplicate นะครับ you choose the ship country column, right click, and then choose duplicate column. Choose duplicate column. Then you get two columns that are absolutely the same นะครับ so we will use one column นะครับ for keeping it first, while the newly created or the newly duplicated column, we will fix the space problem here in front of the text of the country. So in here, I rename ship country copy later on นะครับ leave it like that first. Okay. So you can see that in here, if there is a space นะครับ appear in front of every row like this, we have to use the function that we call trimming the text นะครับ trimming the text. Trimming the text, the things that it will do for us is to remove unwanted space, especially for the space in front of the text. Before the text appear, we will trim it. How to trim? We choose that column first นะครับ I'll use the newly duplicated column นะครับ right click, and then you will see transform นะครับ for the transform we choose trim. Once we trim it นะครับ the leading space will be removed นะครับ you can also just like transform many things with the value that you have inside, change all of them to be lowercase, uppercase, or capitalize each word นะครับ you can clean if they have like some like spatial characters that you don't want it นะครับ or you can specify the fixed length, something like that. In this case นะครับ we use trim. Just use trim. You can see that if we compare นะครับ the original ship country and the newly duplicated ship country นะครับ for France, let's say the original one is a space in front, while the newly duplicated ship country นะครับ doesn't have the space before F นะครับ something like this. Okay, now we will rename the ship country copy นะครับ as ship country trim. I underscore it so that I know that this is the column that I trim it already นะครับ so right now we have the ship country already, so it will be useful for us because whenever we would like to create any charts นะครับ the ship country will be useful for us already. Don't forget that when we do anything with our data นะครับ in the Power Query editor, you always have to close and apply นะครับ otherwise it will not be saved นะครับ okay, so before I move back to Power BI, are there any questions about trimming and duplicating the columns and then split the column? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, let me close and apply. Okay, right now it's finished already นะครับ okay, so then we can do the visualizations นะครับ we can do the visualization here. Right. Okay, so I'll stop Power BI นะครับ today at this point นะครับ before we finish นะครับ don't forget to save your Power BI because this is my new file. I will have to go to file and save นะครับ for anyone who use the computer in the computer lab นะครับ you have to create your own folder in D drive นะครับ never save any of your personal file in C drive or on desktop or on document folder นะครับ the reason is because in these in every computer lab, not just this computer lab, in every MUIC computer labs, if you save anything on desktop นะครับ once the computer is restarted, all the files on desktop, on document, or on C drive will be removed. Because they would like to just like protect all of the privacy of the students, not to save on the desktop, because otherwise other people may just like try to see on your personal files. And also one more important thing is that they would like to protect the computers from viruses and the mess on the desktop. So that's why they will remove or delete all the files on desktop and document. So same as me, I just like always save on D drive. I always save on D drive instead. Then I name this file as ABC files, ABC sales new. If you save it already, okay, you don't need to have the word new. Just that. Oh, I have a question. Splitting by delimiter, difference between left or rightmost delimiter. Okay, let me show you for the left and rightmost. Okay, in here, I go to transform data once again. Okay, let me just show you this example. I copy one data, okay, from Excel so that you can see. Okay. So let's see in this example. Okay. The one that we chose was rightmost delimiter. If you remember the rightmost delimiter, we go to that. Sorry. We go to that column. We go to that column, and then we choose split column by delimiter, right? And they ask us how to split. What kind of delimiter do we use? Everyone understand that it's comma, right? Because we have the common things that are comma. Now, the problem is that what's the difference between leftmost and rightmost? Just have a look. If we have the text like this, the leftmost delimiter, if you choose it, it's here. That is the comma that is on the leftmost ones. Once you split, you get two texts. One is Ruder Parco. The rest of them will be this. This is leftmost split. You get these two messages. But if we use rightmost, what will be the difference? Okay, same text. If we use rightmost delimiter, that is here. Once you say that I want to use the rightmost split, you get this one and this one. This will be two different texts. And when we use rightmost in this example, that's why we get the first chunk of data. That is the rest of the address, while the rightmost will become the country, as we have like this one. Okay.